Welcome to my channel. Make sure you subscribe, like and comment.
Hello guys, welcome once again. So today we're gonna be talking about the episode 6 of the Real Housewives of Atlanta. But before we go ahead, don't forget to like on this video, guys. The more you like, the more YouTube recommends the video to other people. And comment your own opinion about what we're gonna say on this video. And also, please, guys, click on the subscription button down below to subscribe. It is very, very, very much appreciated. So before we go ahead and talk about the episode, how would you how would you rate this episode?
I would have to give it maybe, since it was right after, them letting Kenya go, I would have to say it was a good 5, maybe 5.5 for me.
Mm,
And that's only because I was skeptical to hear what they were saying about Kenya.
yeah. Yeah, I think for me, I'll also give it a 5 because a lot of people still was watching because this is like the aftermath of the whole Kenya's, stuff.
Exactly.
So it was, it was people wanted to see how the ladies will react, the afterthought of what will happen after the whole event. So yeah, that I'll give it 5/10, like you did.
Right.
But yeah, well, let's go ahead and talk about the episode. We started the episode with um the Kenya stuff. And when I saw the ladies' faces, I knew that the picture was bad.
Mm.
Their expression was giving, I don't want to be here.
Right.
Count me out.
Mm-hmm.
This is download dirty. This is like going to hell. That, as in the way their faces, I didn't even need to see the picture. Their faces alone, their reaction was like, okay, yeah, this is bad. Um, but now we had Brits, the ladies walking out, everybody ranting. I knew that it was so bad for them to walk out and leave like that. And you could also see that Kenya felt at a certain moment when she looked at the lady's expression that maybe she had gone overboard. There was
Mm-hmm.
this moment of it became like it's like a moment of clarity on Kenya's face. I don't know whether anybody that was watching saw it, but me watching, I saw a moment when she kind of felt like, she looked and analyzed everybody's facial expression or how they reacted. She knew that, yeah, maybe I did go too far in this situation. She knew that something was wrong. She knew that something was wrong.
I mean,
Oh
I
man.
agree, that she knew that she really messed up, because
Mm,
I don't know. I don't know if it was the look for me that how uh, Cynthia gave her. Cynthia gave her that motherly look, like, girl, no. Now
mm,
you're better than this. And then she gave her that speech.
mm.
You're better than this, Kenya. So she
Yeah.
knew. She knew at that point she fucked up.
Yeah. I I felt bad for her. Not like what she did is wrong, is right. Sorry, did I say wrong? Not like what she did is right.
Mhm.
Um, I know that two wrongs cannot make a right, but I also know that you can push something and push somebody to make a wrong decision.
Right.
Like we spoke last week, Kenya was in absolute wrong, but Brit was not in the right either.
Correct.
And this episode made me, I don't know whether after watching, I don't know whether for you, but after watching this episode, I did not see Brit in a good light. I don't know. Maybe it's just me, but after watching this episode, mm, Brit has a problem. She absolutely does have a problem. The first part was when she had a discussion with her husband, right? Telling him
Hmm.
about the whole situation. So let's really see that the husband was even less interested. I don't know whether it was me. Whether I just mean that it's reading. Yeah, exactly. Maybe I'm just reading meaning to things that are not there. But I felt like the husband already knows that. It's like, this is somebody's character, and that's how the person reacts to things or overreacts to things, and you're just like, let me just listen. If I don't listen, there'll be problem. If I listen, like I just felt like it was that kind of situation that he just had to sit down there. It was not giving me like, yeah, I'm concerned. Oh, I feel your pain. I don't know, but that was how I felt when Brit was talking to her husband. He felt less concerned about the situation. Maybe that's his facial expression. Some people, their face can be so strong face that you might not know whatever they're feeling, but I just felt, me watching on my screen, that he felt less interested in what Brit was saying in that whole situation. I don't know whether it was me. I don't know whether you felt the same way when she was talking to her husband about the whole situation.
Yeah, I mean, he felt like, this is just like another day or any other day.
Mm,
He didn't seem like he was really too much concerned to me.
yeah.
Which, maybe he's not the type to get into women's drama. You know what I'm saying?
Maybe. Okay, maybe.
Yeah, but he didn't seem like he was really at the point where he was like, look, they're doing you wrong. I know you better than this. You know what I'm saying? He wasn't really like tripping to me. You know what I'm saying? He
Mm,
was just like, yeah, okay, well, who your friends are, that kind of little speech. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
So, yeah, I agree with you on that.
But anyways, then I see the reason why I said, oh, well, I would not judge her, because something that like that kind of thing happened to you, you would want to tell everybody in your family. The way she kept on ranting about it was giving me like, okay, okay, it's becoming too much. She also met up with her mom to talk about the same thing. And I'm not see, I am not siding with Kenya. I know so many people might say, okay, maybe I'm siding with Kenya. I'm not siding with Kenya. I've always said that Kenya has a problem of attitude right from the time she has been on this show. Kenya has always had attitude problem, just like Phaedra. Um, but the thing is that these pictures or videos have is online. There's something they always say: the internet never forgets.
True.
Whatsoever you post on the internet, it's, even if you scrub it, there's somebody out there somewhere that will still fish it out.
True.
Even if you scrub it away from the internet, there's someone out there that will still fish it out. So the internet never forget. That's why they always say, be careful of what you post on the internet, because tomorrow it might come to bite you in the ass.
Mhm.
So this was in the internet, and it's like, okay, I can literally go on the internet and also search for it, that those videos, those pictures and everything, and see it myself. But Kenya going that low to do it did not make sense. But I felt like these pictures or videos are videos of people have seen you in those videos, right?
Right.
So I, I don't know. Maybe it's just the way I'm thinking. I'm like, okay, why is she getting this upset if it's a video or pictures that she shot by herself, posted by herself on social media? Numerous people have seen it. She didn't care at that moment. So why is she acting as if it was like a picture that someone took of her when she was, she didn't notice, or a picture that was taken of her when she didn't know and was posted on social media without her her knowledge. That's the way she was reacting, as if you posted this thing yourself. You wanted people to view it.
Mm,
It was not taken by mistake. It wasn't anything.
mm,
But the way she's responding is like a video that was like somebody took a video of you. We've had this kind of instance where people um record you without you knowing and post it online. If it was that kind of situation, I'll be like, okay, it's not that is overly wrong because you were not aware and the video or picture was posted on social media, on the internet rather. But I just felt a certain kind of way, the way and her tears, I was like, I wasn't getting it. Maybe just me. Maybe just me. I just feel like maybe it's just me that was just feeling that way. Like didn't feel her. And I think where I kind of was like, okay, what the heck is going on? Was where um Kelly, is that her name? Yeah, Kelly met up with her. I know. See, I'm beginning to like Kelly. I don't know whether you've started liking her, but I do. I've started liking Kelly on this show. And I'm happy that I gave them a chance because from the first episode I was like, who are these new girls? But I'm happy that I gave them a chance because I'm beginning to get used to them.
right. Well, yeah,
I
I like Kelly. I think
Yeah.
she's a good addition to the show. She's funny. One thing I said about them was, you know, that they seem like the type of girls, which I don't mind at all. If you're gonna say how you feel in my face, I'd rather for you to do that than all that fake stuff behind my back. You know what I'm saying? So
Mm-hmm.
me, I I prefer a person if they're gonna be around me and I gotta be around you. I would prefer them to be exactly who they are because see I need to know who I'm dealing with,
Mm.
you know. So yeah, I'm glad that the girls, were honest enough about who they really were. From the beginning, we seen that Bree and, and Bree and Kendra, I mean Kenya had a
Okay.
issue. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? I don't know really what it was between the two of them, but yeah, we could tell that there was an issue with them, you know.
Mm.
And so I'm just looking at the part of, well, damn, I'm glad that they was honest with who they really were. You know what I'm saying? So we know where the trouble's gonna be and where the trouble's not gonna be.
Mm. I like Kelly because she tried to reach out to Brie after the whole event, after the whole career stuff. I love that she tried to reach out to her, and it shows that okay, she understands where she understands that nobody wants that kind of thing be released about them. So it was nice to see that and see their friendship in that manner.
Yeah, but
Um,
what I don't understand, like
yeah,
with Bree,
yeah,
like, okay, look, we've all been young and stupid before. You know what I'm saying? We've all
yeah.
done things that we are not proud of. You know, if anything I've ever done shows up, I'm just gonna be like, all right, yeah, that's me. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
And you know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? Let's move on. Okay, yeah, that was me. I done some stupid stuff in my wild days. You know what I'm saying? So I would have just went on and accepted it instead of, you know, being uptight about it where I'm in tears and you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because everybody, that's just like saying don't nobody got good credit because everybody got bad credit. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Nobody's credit is better than nobody else's because we all got bad credit. Let the credit reporters tell us we all got bad credit. So that's why
Yeah.
they give us the higher interest rates when we try and borrow something, you know. So I would just look at it like that. Hey, yeah, it was me. All right. Thank you. I appreciate it. You know what I'm saying? That was me back in my younger days. I'm a totally different person now. You know what I'm saying? Live and learn,
Yeah.
you know. But I guess it was more embarrassing for her than anything. Her husband act like, well, that was before me, so I ain't tripping. Which is good for him.
Hmm. Um, let's then we had Kenya and the other ladies meeting up. Drew, Shamin, Angela, and they talked about Porsha kind of talked about Simon and their issue and their marriage
Hmm.
or their divorce. How did you feel when Kenya was Portia, sorry, did I say Kenya? Portia was talking about the situation because to me, when she was talking about it, I felt like when she said that she was with Simon because of protection and everything. I was like, what was Kenya? So what am I calling Kenya? I don't know what Portia was seeing, but I was seeing clearly with Simon. I saw it clear as day. I think like she had blinders on and she was in for the money. I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. I really don't. I'm not faulting her for that. It's not bad to go for the money. It's your choice.
Right.
But for her to come out here now and be trying to be like, oh, he was a good man at one time. He was a fine guy. He was a. La, 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 la." I'm like, no. If he could leave his ex-wife in that manner to be with you, there's no goodness in that situation.
Right.
He was never a good guy. You too was never a good girl or a good woman, whatever you want to call it. But you were never good because you were in that situation where he left his ex-wife in that situation. You guys were close and did that rubbish you guys did. And when you were doing it, you were feeling okay. You were talking about how your love is sweet. How, he has shown you what a real man is supposed to be. And now all of a sudden, all those things disappeared. No, you were blind. You were interested in one thing, and that one thing alone just took away every other thing. You like, even if you were seeing other things play out, you'd be like, I'm blind. I'm blind. So for me, how in short, how anytime she talks about Simon, I laugh instead of feel sympathy for her. I'm sorry. I cannot bring myself to feel sympathy for her because she could have all these things she's saying now could have been told to her. She could have seen it a long time. That Simon was never really a good person, but she just wanted to be blind.
Yeah, I mean, I think she did it for the clout as well. You know, um, I feel that you know I've said it before. The same way you get somebody, it's the same way you lose them. You know what I'm saying? Because how she got him to me wasn't cool. You know what I'm saying? It just wasn't cool. It wasn't right. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I'm not gonna say she deserved it, because maybe later on, maybe she probably did start falling in love with him. I mean, you're around a person long enough, you can love them, you know. But I think that she maybe even fell in love with him like after a while, but on first sight, yeah, of course, I feel like, it was a money thing, you know?
Yeah. Well, let's also talk about since we're talking about marriages and divorce, let's also talk about and Drew and what is her husband's name? I keep forgetting his name.
Oh, it's right on the tip of my tongue.
Ralph.
Ralph, yeah.
Yeah. Drew and Ralph situation. Ralph had his time, then he came upstairs. Which was his time? Let's put that in the equation.
Right.
It was his time. And she was like, oh, why are you here now? I said it was his time. And she was like, oh, okay, I'm about leaving. She knew that it was his time.
Mm-hmm.
Now she said she wanted to have a chat with him, and she was like, you need to start paying for the exterminators. And he then, you see, that's why I don't always like to believe Drew. He then said it out loud that he pays for everything in the
Right.
house. And
Mm-hmm.
Drew makes it sound like she does basically everything in that house. Drew makes it sound as if Ralph is broke and she is taking care of everything. Now, did you see that she did not even dispute when he said, I pay for everything in the house? She didn't even
Yeah.
try to, she didn't make funny faces like, okay, just say what you want. Like, there's a way you talk a lie to a woman that you're dating, and she just be like, okay, let me just allow you to talk. I don't have strength to argue with you. You will know that, okay, this is a lie, but she doesn't just want to argue. That was what I was expecting when Drew and when Raph said that there will be this facial expression she will make that'll be like, okay, he's lying, but she didn't just want to argue. But there was none. It didn't come up. What I saw in her face was in agreement to, yes, you take care of me, so you can as well take care of the exterminator bill.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, okay, I feel like if you have been doing it since time immemorial, why all of a sudden you're like, let him take care of it? And I'm sure that bill is not expensive, because I'm sure that is one of the least bills you can ever pay. And when he was trying to like make an argument that you've been paying the bill, what is stopping you now to do? And she said her lawyer told her that he's supposed to be doing it. Okay, fine. She wanted to make, I felt like Drew was looking for an argument where there was no argument. That fight was so unnecessary, so stupid. For me, I felt she was trying to just find a moment. See, Drew and Ralph, no, that fight was, it shouldn't even have been an argument. It shouldn't have even been a fight. Then when she walked out, went to bring her sister in the car, be like, he's so stupid. He just want to make things unnecessarily. I was like, for an Esther, I was like, wait, is this for this bill or is there something else? Because I was beginning to get confused the way she was talking in the car. You
Mm-hmm.
would think he forgot to maybe pay the child's tuition or something with the way she
Right.
was acting or talking to her sister in the car. You would think he didn't want to pay a very important bill. Just for an exterminator, you got so pissed. Like, it's so childish. Both of them are childish. Drew is more childish. And I feel like she just tries to create moments where they are not supposed to be, because that fight was never supposed to happen. I don't know why your lawyer should be like, Rufta is like, it's not like he's not taking care of all that bills in the house. Why are you still trying to add one more that you could take care of? It's not like you're doing, he said you don't do anything.
Right.
So why should that be an issue? Why should it have been an issue? I just feel like she wanted a moment. And the way she escalated it in the car was giving me, okay, maybe it was she wanted a moment for the cameras, I don't know. Or she wanted a moment with Ralph. Because she was just ranting and she started complaining about the fact that he came up when it was his time. I will repeat it again. His time, not hers. His time. I was like, why did he come without? I'm like, he came at his time, right? I'm confused. Him coming at his time again is a problem. And I'm like, if he doesn't come at all, it becomes a problem again. What does Drew want exactly? That's the thing that baffled me.
Uh-uh.
Because everything she complained of, I didn't see any issue with them. That's just my own perspective.
Okay. I mean, I can see where Drew probably wanted some camera time, or even to make her situation seem worse than what it is, because when they were comforting Portia, she said, "Well, I wish I could be there to comfort her. I mean, I understand what she's going through, and I wish I could comfort her, but at this point, our friendship is what it is."
Mm-hmm.
You know, so maybe she was looking for a little bit of that sympathy for herself, that Portia was actually getting like support, like, hey, we feel you, Portia. We understand where you're coming from. You know, maybe she wanted a little bit of that attention. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Okay. So, okay, she wanted a little bit of attention. Was that why she had those unnecessary fights with Ralph?
Well, yeah, and more camera time.
Okay. Yeah, me, I agree for the second part you said because I felt like she did it for the cameras. I'm sorry. I felt she did it for the cameras, nothing else. And I understood that part when Portia was talking and the ladies surrounded her and she could not, chime in. I understood that part because of their
Hmm.
friendship is kind of, that
Right.
part I did understand Drew's point of view. But the part where she was unnecessarily talking to Ralph, the fact is that I know that Ralph is not a good guy. I know that Ralph is not a good guy, but Drew has me here standing for that guy. It pisses me off when somebody who makes me want to defend a bad person. It's very annoying. And the fact that I'm trying to defend him is pissing me off. Yeah. And it's all
Yeah.
thanks to Drew. Now let's talk about the for me, I felt like the most important part for this episode
Hmm.
was where Kelly did a get together for the girls and invited everybody. Um, and she mainly did it for Brit, for like a comfort after that whole Kenya stuff. Now, Brit was the first one to arrive, and her and Kelly were talking, and she was like, "Oh, she invited the ladies, but they've had their chat with Kenya." You know, um, I understood why Brit would be getting upset that they had their chat with Kenya, but at the end of the day, those women are grown ass women. They can have chats with whoever they want to have chats with.
Right.
So her kind of being like, how am I gonna look at them knowing that they're still talking to Kenya? I'm like, babes, calm down. Calm down. Now everybody came. It was going so well until, Brit was just too into this Kenya and her stuff. And she kind of she also said it to her husband that she kind of, because of defamation and everything, she kind of lost her, she's under investigation
Hmm.
for her license. See, the way she said that part, I was taken aback because I know that when you have a license, before a license, whatever license it is, and whatever profession it is, before your license gets investigated, one, it has to be involved in that thing you're doing. Like, let's say you're a medical doctor and your license is being investigated. It sometimes 80% of the time it is something that involves medical field. Maybe you did any medical malpractice or you did something wrong in the medical field. I don't think in the remaining 20% that they would want to be revoking your license for having a picture online. I don't think.
Right. That seemed a little too excessive. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I wasn't really like, oh wow, she's gonna get her license taken from her. Because to me, like I said, it sounds just a little bit too obsessive. You know. So I mean, all in all, I'm glad that she got to keep her license. You know. But then at the same time, you know, maybe she needed a moment.
Exactly. See, Brit was giving me. I needed a moment when she said about the license, like, oh, because of Kenya and the things she did, and the license is being invested. When I knew that it was for a moment thing was when, also Angela. I kudos to Angela. Angela is my MVP for this episode. Angela is my MVP for this episode because she called out the bullshit of Brit.
Mm-hmm.
Because she was like, baby girl, I I don't think that is possible. There was an investigation. Something is going on somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
And for the fact that the both of them, maybe she didn't know before that the both of them are in the same profession. Maybe she was not aware before that Angela and her were in the same profession. That was why she decided to conjure that lie
Mm-hmm.
until she was called out. And she didn't like that she was called out, and it was she felt like a lot of the ladies were kind of
Coming
understanding where
for.
Angela was coming from,
Mm-hmm.
right? And when Angela was telling her that, see, babes, the truth is that you were also wrong.
Mm-hmm. Uh-oh, can't hear you. Yuzo, can't hear you. Okay, I think maybe something's wrong with your mic. Yeah, I think it's something possibly wrong with your mic. So I'm just gonna go ahead and talk. But yeah, I agree. I just think that, she needed a moment, because it's quite evident that Kenya is living rent free in her head, and even what's her name? Porsha. Porsha even mentioned something about it. She was like, well, you can just twirl on out. And Portia said, wait a minute, that's Kenya's line. So what's up with that? You know? I mean, it was just pretty hilarious, you know. And yeah, I think she does live rent free in her head. You know, why? I don't know. But it's just that way, you know. And so I think she just needed a moment, you know. She just needed that one moment, you know. And like I said, me personally, I just would have just been like, okay, yeah, that's me, you know. And I would have explained it. That was, I let my ex. I was young. He wanted to make a video, so I said, okay, let's make this video. Because I was so in love. I would have explained it off as any woman could if caught in a position like that. You know, so yeah, I think Brit is an emotional creature. And I think she's a little overboard and eclectic. Because I don't know if you watch Andy's Clubhouse. She was on right after that. Okay, look, I I probably could wear the jacket, and the dress didn't look like it was made out of raw material. You know, I don't know if that was uh, some type of hide, that she had on, with the matching little boots. I could have wore the jacket, maybe even the dress, but the boots, girl, that look like hoofs. Nah, I couldn't have wore that. You know, I was totally like tripping off of that outfit. You know, so I was saying that I believe that Brit is a little extra and a little eccentric, you know, and I was talking about
Mm.
her outfit that she had on after Andy's Playhouse, right after the show.
Oh,
You
the
know what I'm saying?
show,
Just
right?
yeah, just to prove my point. You know what I'm saying? She's extra. You know what I'm saying? That's why she couldn't let go of the little push that Kenya did to her. Oh, she's coming after me. She's looking at my ring like, and I was like, girl, where is your ring? Where your husband?
Yeah,
Yeah,
why she was even talking about the wrong girl? I
yeah.
can't. I'm
It was,
like,
it,
babes.
yeah, it was just like she was just extra. You know what I'm saying? It's like, okay, we know
Mhm.
you on the show, boo. Just, come in nicely. You know what I'm saying? Get the feel around, get the feel for everybody. You're not even a season in yet. And you already disliking somebody. you know. So yeah, she just seems like a little extra for me, when it comes to her emotions, because she never had to even mention anything about, because with Andy, she was like, oh no, Andy, I never had the weapon on me. And, I was just talking. And like, I don't know whether to believe that or not, because ain't no way I'm gonna tell somebody I'm strapped and I'm not. No, if I say I'm
Mhm.
strapped, I mean
Exactly.
it. you know. So
I didn't like the fact that they were trying to downplay what she said.
yeah, so it just kind of like, okay, so she's very, very extra. And that was the right thing for you to say, is no, I did not have a gun, Your Honor.
Mhm. Wow.
Uh,
The thing is, I when I watched the Andy's live, I was like, as much as Brit is saying that we should not downplay what Kenya did, so therefore she shouldn't downplay coming out to say, "Oh, I have a pew pew, and
yeah,
I'm gonna bring it out and use it on you."
yeah,
She shouldn't downplay that. If you don't want me to downplay Kenya bringing out old videos of you doing fellatio on somebody, then don't downplay your card saying that you brought a pew pew and you can use it on anybody. You know.
right,
So for me, I hate the downgrading part. I hate that they are trying to like diminish what she did. It's like, and see, at the end of the day, that's why I would say Kenya is the biggest faulter here, because it happens. It's life. When people do something and they push you, they push you, they push you, they push you. That one reaction you get to that several, not one, several pushes. People will remember that one reaction because it's like a moment of compounded issues that you've stored up, and you use that one chance and mount everything on that person. People will now be like, where is this energy coming from? Just because of this little thing that is did to you. This energy is coming for this little thing. They would forget the numerous times the person has done what they did that made everything to all come together. So at the end of the day, that's why I'm pissed off that Kenya allowed herself to be in that situation. But Kenya has been one person. Anybody that has been a fan of RHOA, we know that Kenya is one person that flares up. We've seen her done things on this show. She's not a saint. I'm not gonna say Kenya is a saint,
right,
but um Brit Ida was never a saint. And that's why I said watching this episode made me not like Brit any longer. Like, I did not like Kelli from the beginning, but now I'm falling in love with Kelli. I did not like Angela from the beginning, but now I'm falling in love with Angela because I said, okay, let me give them time because they are new. I already knew the other ones because we've been watching them coming forward. Um, but now I've given Kelli a chance and I've given Angela a chance.
Right.
But Brit, I just can't get myself to give her a chance
Mm.
because she's everywhere accusing everybody. She even came on social media last week and was like, it is one of the housewives on the show that gave Kenya the picture. I'm like, I'm tired. She also had a fight with another person from another show, I think in their friend circle, and was like, they were like going back and forth on Instagram. I'm like, this lady has a problem. I don't know. I don't know,
Wow.
but hmm, I just can't get myself to like Brit in any shape or form.
Mm.
I can't get myself to like Brit. Well, I guess we'll see how it's gonna play out. Um, with the trailer of next week episode, do you feel like next week episode is going to be any better than this week's episode?
Uh, I think so. I'm hoping so. you know, but yeah, I think that you know they got a few things cooked up that I wouldn't mind seeing and finding out how it turns out. What about you?
Hmm. I would love to see how some of the things done now because I think that the new girls are putting a different perspective to the show. So I'm kind of loving the vibe.
Mm-hmm.
I'm kind of loving the vibe. So I want to see how it will go. The only thing I would not love to continuously see is for them to keep on letting not be that the whole Brit issue or the whole Brit storyline will be this Kenya story because for me, I'm already exhausted.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm already exhausted by it. So I really don't want that should be like all through their storyline for the season.
Right. I get you.
Uh-huh. But Kelly did say that her and Brit ended up not ending the show as friends. I would love to see that play out. So
Mm.
yeah, she did say that her
Wow.
and Brit were no longer friends
Oh
before the
wow.
show ended. So I would love to see how that would play out, considering the fact that they're close at this moment. So I want to see
Mm.
what really happened that made her and Brit have that divide.
Mm. Yeah, that would be interesting to find out.
Yeah. Well, anyways, guys, thanks for joining us on another review and recap of the Real Housewives of Atlanta. Like I said at the beginning, like on this video because the more you like, the more you recommend. Comment your total opinion about the video on the comment section and click on the subscription button down below to subscribe. We'll see you guys same time next week on another recap. Have a nice day, guys.
Bye.
Bye.